Hello, pre-algebra students. Congratulations, you've made it through the first couple days. Your reward is that we're going to have a quiz. We have quizzes pretty often in this class, but it's kind of nice because then you get some feedback, you know how you're doing, and I'll always do a review before your quiz, so you will be well prepared for the quiz. So this is for actually Unit 1A. We have kind of a Part B of Unit 1, but so we talked about order of operations, and so here we're going to, again, while you're doing your review, you could be looking at your packet, etc., to remind yourself, but those parentheses would be done first, and then 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 divided by 3, our final answer would be 2. Simple enough, probably seems pretty simple after some of the other ones I gave you on that additional page of order of operations. So the next one here, we have, I'm going to make this just a little smaller so maybe I can get 2 in, maybe. And so this next one, we have parentheses again, so 2 times 3, we can go ahead and do that, is 6. And then over here we also have an exponent, so 3 to the second power, recall, means 3 times 3, so that would be 9. And then 9 plus 6 would be 15. So just a couple steps, but do need to remember what exponents mean. In number 3, we're going to do those parentheses first again, and then I know it's very tempting, but don't jump over here and do this multiplication next, because that's not what's actually going to come next. Just rewrite the rest of the problem. Now remember, multiply and divide, we just go left to right. So the 12 divided by 2 gives us 6, and then 6 times 3 is 18. So we're looking at about 3 steps on most of these. Sometimes you can do more than one step on the same line, like number 2, but we can't do that on number 3 because that would not be the next operation that should be done. Probably should have said this at the beginning, but ideally these reviews work best if you first try to do it on your own before we go over it in class, or before you watch this video. So if you want to give these next problems a try before I tell you, then that will give you a good idea of how ready you are for the quiz. Alright, so number 4, the directions say simplify, so this can include distributing and combining like terms. So if there are parentheses, we need to distribute because I cannot combine the 2 and the 4. This does not mean 2 times negative 4. The x is a variable here. So when I say distribute, it means we're going to multiply the 3 times the 2x. That gives me 6x. Then I'm going to do 3 times negative 4, negative 12, and then we still have that plus 9. He's just kind of hanging out there. He does not get multiplied by 3 because he was not inside the parentheses. Now we can combine these two because they are like terms. Final answer then is going to be 6x minus 3. So you have to think about those sign number rules, negative 12, positive 9, negative 3. In number 5, we have the opportunity to use distributive property twice. So I'm going to do 4 times both of these, so 4x plus 4 times 3 is 12, and then 2 times both of these. So plus 2x, and then 2 times negative 3, negative 6. And then these two can combine, and these two can combine. Now, if you prefer, if it helps it make sense to you, you could rewrite them with the like terms next to each other. Or you might just think 4x plus 2x and write down 6x. And then think 12 and negative 6 makes plus 6. So I would expect to at least see that you've distributed. Don't try to do too much in your head. For one, if you mess something up, I don't see your work in between to give you any partial credit. Two, I don't want to have any suspicion that you just glanced at your neighbor's paper. Hopefully no one's going to do that. We're adults. Why? That would kind of defeat the purpose, right, of being here at school to learn. But again, this step, definitely optional. Also optional to do circles or boxes. I'm just trying to point out to you my thought process of what can go together. And your quiz will be a similar number of questions, if not exactly the same number of questions, very close. So I call them quizzes for a reason because they're shorter than what we usually think of as tests. So you may have one that is just distributive property. So negative 3 times x and negative 3 times 2. And then that would be done. In 7, we would distribute. And then combine like terms, because we do have 6j and negative 5j. So that would just be j plus 9. If you want, you can say 1j plus 9. But if we simply write j, we know that that means just 1j. So in math, we try to be really concise. Don't want any wasted keystrokes. So I don't usually write the 1, but sometimes my students do, or to help my students understand, I will include that 1 there. And then we just have some integer practice here. Notice that the numbers are pretty small, and so since the numbers are small, kept the numbers small on this assessment, so we will not be using calculators for this assessment. All right, so this is very similar to what we did at the beginning. So 8 plus 4, 12, 8 minus 4. Again, you might work ahead of me and then come back and see if we agree. So rather than me talking you through it, I'm just going to work through these pretty quickly. Point out just a few things, like in this case with the minus minus. Remember, the two minuses together are going to become plus. So then negative 8 and positive 4 give me negative 4. It's negative 12. Negative 4. Positive 4. So when it's addition, but their signs are different, remember you're subtracting, and then bigger sign wins. Think here like they just both have a negative sign. So negative 8 and negative 4, negative 12. Double negative again, that becomes plus plus. So now I have a positive 8 and a positive 4. So that's 12. And then remember the multiplication and division rules. If the signs are different, you're going to get negative answers. Doesn't matter who's bigger. If they are different, it will be negative answers. And if the signs are the same, like that bottom left section, even when it's two negatives, we get a positive. All right, so we have had a lot of practice, so I am quite hopeful that you will do well on the quiz. And that concludes our review. Thank you.